Welcome to the fourth video on your fieldwork experience. This is at the top of page 2. And hopefully we're going to move a little bit faster through this page. So the first line says the director of school representative makes the final decision on who can complete fieldwork hours at the school/program. So do realize that just because you want to do your hours somewhere doesn't mean they have to let you. So they have the right to reject or to turn away or say we don't have the space or the room to any student that they like. And so they are not required to take you in any way, shape, or form. How to kind of maybe sway it a little bit is make sure that when you approach the school and request to do your hours there, either in email or physically or by phone, that you're doing so in a very professional manner. They're going to be more likely to service you. Now remember that I always tell all my students, you are their lowest priority. So what does that mean? That means that they have a lot of other things that they must do. You're there on a voluntary basis, a non-requirement for their school or institution. You are there out of their goodwill. And so they are not required to meet any needs or demands that you want to make. They are not required to even have you there at that placement. Sorry, I have birds in the house. And so being professional, being responsible, being flexible to work your schedule around what they are able to offer is really imperative to being successful in gaining a field placement location. So if you are having troubles, please do come speak to me, and I will try to lead you in the right direction, give you some resources, talk you through how to approach them and pieces like that. It is your job to kind of locate what's in your area. Our students are spread all across the state, and that we're not able to have a contract with everyone across the state. And so it is your position to find that place that you can do your hours. Realize that background checks, especially for childcare, can take a couple of weeks. So do not hold off trying to find your location. You want to start doing that ASAP and contacting places that you think you might want to work. So, like I said, it is up to you to find your fieldwork location for CDEC classes. So if the front part of your class says CDEC, so for this semester, that would be wellness. Other semesters, it may be educating young children. If you have the CDEC class, you need to work with children under the age of 8. That can be in a school or an early childhood program, an after-school program, a Sunday school program, any type of program that is a formal established program. If you are in a TECA class, TECA, so there's TECA 1318 this semester, and other semesters there's TECA 1311 and TECA 1303. Those classes need to find a place that works with children under the age of 12. So that's about 6th grade and under. Once again, it can be a school program, after school program, Mother's Day out. It's usually not enough Mother's Day out for the older side of things, but it can be anywhere within that school range. For my education classes, Introduction to Teaching and Special Populations, you must work in a school. It cannot be an after-school program. It cannot be a child care. It cannot be a Mother's Day Out program. It has to be a accredited school. So that means that it can be public or private. If it's private, it must be accredited through some type of formal source like the private, I can't think of we have SACs for us, but some type of institution that accredits it. So even homeschooled schools have accrediting bodies. So if it's just a group of people who got together and are teaching kids in a homeschool manner, it doesn't count. But if it's accredited homeschool, for example, Waxahachie Prep, that would be okay. Okay. So if you need help figuring out locations, let me know. When you go to find your location, where should you go? So if you're doing childcare, if you're doing the early childhood, here is Find a Childcare link. That link you can put in your city. You can look at their backgrounds. You can see their reports on what's done well and what's not done well. And use that link to find a childcare and start contacting them. I honestly find that it's best to stop in or ask to meet with the administrator, not just to send an email, because frankly, they might not even be checking the email that's listed on that website. So for childcares, it is definitely best to stop in, leave a note. You don't necessarily need to meet right that second with the director, but say, hey, can I leave a note with my name and number and why I'm interested in visiting this program. If it is a school, the best place to start is if you have a contact that person and ask who to start. So maybe it's your child's principal, or you have a teacher that you know that works in that school. Then you typically, if you have no contacts, or that person's probably going to send you back to the admin office. So the administration office will typically tell you how they want you to go about it. For example, Burleson, there's a place that you apply to be the volunteer, to be the observer in the classroom. In Cleburne, they want you to come in, and there's paperwork that they'll have you fill in. So each district does it a little bit differently. So it's really difficult for me to say. But usually administration is the place to start. You call the general line in the administration office and say, hello, I'm a student with Hill College, and I need to do observation hours. Is there someone I can talk to about doing those observation hours in your district or at such and such school? And they usually know who to pass you on to, because that also changes pretty regularly. If you need help finding that information, finding that number, going through the website, let me know, or let your instructor know, and we can help you do that. I'm going to stop this here, and that's on finding a childcare or field placement location, and we will go into required paperwork and professional guidelines in the next video.